Hi, so we're back. I've got out my K-31 and it's next to the K-11, so we can just have another look. Remember what I said about the rear sight on the K-11 being attached to the upper wood, and this might have an effect on the accuracy when you reassemble the rifle. As you can see on the K-31, this is actually attached now to the barrel, so there shouldn't be any negative influence on the accuracy as a result of stripping the rifle. Another area that you can see is quite different is in the length of the bolt. So here's the bolt of the K-31, which I can put here, and let's just get out the bolt of the K-11. There we go, which, as you can see, is a huge affair. So much longer the K-11 compared with the K-31. K-31 is a very compact design, really the state of the art as it was then. The extractor for the K-31 is inside now this body, whereas the extractor here is this thing which is on the outside of this bolt extension, you could call it. They both still have the cam action. They both have the straight pull. They both have a ring for the firing pin. The K-31 is rather more filigrane, whereas the K-11 is rather more stout. But it's very closely related, as you can see. This is the K-31 I use for competition, so that's why it has the diopter on it and an extra post fitted to the front sight. But otherwise they are extremely similar. And you can see that the loading mechanism of the K-31 is identical to the K-11. If I can just lift it up, there you go. It's the same shape with the rear here being flattened off. The front is rounded, and surprise surprise, that's because the loading mechanism was the same. So we've got stripper clip type affair for here and one for here. They're identical, and the ammunition, of course, is the same. So I'll just show you that side on. There we go. And of course, it's an action using the thumb to press down. The standard official diopter for increased accuracy, which is this one, actually uses the thumb recess to attach, which of course reduces the ease with which I can press the ammunition down into the magazine of the K-31. Another difference, this is the magazine of the K-31 and the magazine of the K-11. The K-11 is more square and the K-31 more rounded. They're both made of pressed steel, but the follower of the K-31 is also pressed, whereas here it's machined on the K-11. The clips to hold the magazine to the action are similar in design, or at least in idea, but not identical. Yeah. So perhaps just to compare another amount of data to the K-31 here. This K-31 was manufactured in 1942. This one in about 1920. So there is, in terms of design, or let's say in terms of design, this is a K-31, this is a K-11, so there's 20 years between the introduction of this into the Swiss Army and this one into the Swiss Army. In terms of the way they handle, they're extremely similar, except this should have better accuracy than this, because that's on a piece of wood which can be moved around, which I assume can be moved around. I haven't taken this completely to pieces yet, so I don't actually know how much of this wood comes away. Maybe this is firmly attached, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's more or less the total of the visible differences that we've looked at. You always have to slam these forward so the serial number is visible on the K-31, then you know that it's properly locked. You should never pull the trigger on a K-31 if this serial number is not visible, because it means the bolt is probably not locked. So, now you can let that down. Put this away and bolt in. It's a little stiffer. There we go. And perhaps one last putting them on safe. One last difference I think I mentioned was the holder on the sling. This one appears to be steel, this one is definitely aluminium. I think this is an original, so from 1942. It's got some cracking on it, and I know I've treated it with a preservative and other things to make leather happier. And with the sling from this one, it was a little mouldy when I first got it, but I've treated it, and so it's nice and flexible, which it wasn't when we first started. So I think that's about it. I see I've been headless for a while. This was a quick look at K-11 and a quick comparison with the K-31. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back sometime very soon with other quirky facts from Switzerland and Swiss shooting. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, shoot safely, but go out and shoot.